My best friend stole my life. Then karma came for her. Emily's journal at 23. Before we start, I need you to do something for me. Comment, "I'm listening," or tell me where you're watching from. Because what I'm about to share, it's the kind of betrayal that makes you question everything you thought you knew about friendship, loyalty, and trust. My best friend didn't just betray me. She systematically dismantled my life while I watched, confused and heartbroken, wondering why everything I touched was falling apart. And the worst part? I defended her to everyone who tried to warn me. Her name was Chloe. And this is the story of how she tried to become me. I met Chloe during our sophomore year at Northwestern. I was 20, working 2 jobs to afford rent in Chicago while juggling a full course load in communications. She transferred in from a community college in Ohio, this bubbly girl with perfect Instagram aesthetics and a smile that made everyone want to be her friend. We bonded over late-night study sessions at The Grind, this tiny coffee shop near campus that stayed open until 2 a.m. She'd just broken up with her high school boyfriend. I was recovering from my parents' messy divorce. We were both trying to figure out who we were supposed to become. "You're so lucky," she told me one night, scrolling through my LinkedIn profile. "You've got internship experience, connections, a clear path. I'm just trying to catch up." I didn't feel lucky. My internship at a boutique PR firm was unpaid. My connections were people who tolerated me at networking events. My clear path was actually crippling anxiety about whether I'd ever be good enough. But Chloe saw something in my life she wanted. I just didn't realize how far she'd go to take it. We became inseparable. She moved into the apartment next door to mine in Wicker Park. We took the same classes. She asked me to introduce her to my internship supervisor. I did, happily, because that's what friends do, right? Within 3 months, Chloe had transformed. She copied my style, the vintage blazers I thrifted, the minimal jewelry, even the way I wore my hair. At first, it felt flattering. Imitation as the sincerest form of flattery and all that. "You just have such good taste," she'd say, showing up in an outfit nearly identical to one I'd worn the week before. My boyfriend at the time, Nathan, thought it was weird. "She's literally becoming you, Em. It's creepy." I defended her. "She's just finding her style. Stop being paranoid." God, I wish I'd listened. The first real crack appeared during spring semester. I'd been working on a campaign pitch for my internship, a social media strategy for a local sustainable fashion brand. I'd spent weeks on it, staying up until 4 a.m., perfecting every detail. I shared my rough draft with Chloe over coffee, excited to get her feedback. She was enthusiastic, taking notes, asking questions. "This is genius, Em. You're going to kill it." The presentation was scheduled for Friday. On Thursday night, I got an email from my supervisor. "We've decided to go with Chloe's concept instead. She presented something very similar yesterday, and the client preferred her approach. Better luck next time." My stomach dropped. I called Chloe immediately. "Oh my God, Em, I'm so sorry." Her voice was perfectly calibrated concern. "I was working on my own pitch, and I guess we just had similar ideas. Great minds think alike, right? Don't be mad." I wanted to believe her, so I swallowed the betrayal burning in my throat and congratulated her instead. But then, something happened that changed everything. Nathan and I had been together for 8 months. It wasn't perfect. We fought about his drinking, about how he never wanted to meet my friends, but I thought we were solid. He was the first person I'd said "I love you" to since high school. Chloe started hanging out with us more. Group dinners, movie nights, she'd text him memes. Completely normal friend stuff. Except it wasn't. I started noticing small things. The way she'd touch his arm when she laughed, how she always sat next to him, the inside jokes they'd developed that I wasn't part of. "You're being insecure," Chloe said when I mentioned it. "Nathan and I are just friends. You know you're the only one he wants." 2 weeks later, I found them together. I'd come home early from my shift at the campus bookstore, planning to surprise Nathan with dinner. His apartment door was unlocked. I walked in and heard her laugh from his bedroom. The scene is burned into my memory. Chloe, wearing my Northwestern hoodie, the one I'd lent her weeks ago, sitting on Nathan's bed, his hand on her knee, both of them going silent when they saw me. This isn't," Nathan started. But I was already walking out. The betrayal was so complete, so overwhelming, that I couldn't even cry. I just felt hollow. Chloe moved fast. Within a week, she and Nathan were officially together. Within a month, she'd taken over my entire social circle. The friends we'd made together at Northwestern, they sided with her. "She's just so fun and positive," one mutual friend told me. "You've been kind of negative lately." My internship? The supervisor who'd chosen Chloe's pitch over mine started giving her all the good projects. I was relegated to coffee runs and data entry. Even my family got the Chloe treatment. She befriended my younger sister on Instagram, commenting on all her posts, sending her care packages. My sister started asking why I couldn't be more chill like Chloe. I was being erased from my own life, and everyone acted like I was the problem for being upset about it. But what I found next made my blood run cold. One night, unable to sleep, I was scrolling through old emails and found something strange. A folder I didn't recognize, CJ reference. Inside were screenshots, dozens of them. My Instagram posts, my LinkedIn profile, my internship projects, text conversations with Nathan, even photos from my family's private Facebook. Chloe had been documenting my life, studying it, learning how to replicate it. The timestamps showed she'd started the week we met. This wasn't accidental. This wasn't great minds think alike. This was calculated, methodical identity theft. My hands shook as I scrolled through 2 years of surveillance. Every outfit I'd worn, every opinion I'd shared, every vulnerability I'd confessed. She'd turned my life into her blueprint. I wanted to scream. I wanted to confront her publicly. I wanted everyone to see what she'd done. But instead, I did something smarter. I started watching her the way she'd watched me. Here's what I learned about Chloe. She was good at copying, but terrible at creating. Everything she had, her style, her ideas, her relationships, was borrowed or stolen. Without someone to imitate, she had nothing original to offer. So I stopped giving her anything to copy. I went silent on social media. I stopped sharing my ideas. I changed my routines, my hangout spots, even my aesthetic. I became unpredictable. And Chloe? She started floundering. Without my life to mirror, she couldn't maintain the persona she'd built. Her social media engagement dropped. Her relationship with Nathan imploded after 3 months. Turns out she'd only wanted him because he was mine. Her work at the internship declined without my concepts, to plagiarize. But I didn't just disappear. I rebuilt. Strategically. I transferred my internship to a competitor firm, one Chloe had no connection to. I cultivated new friendships with people she'd never met. I started a blog documenting original creative campaigns, building a portfolio that was undeniably mine. 6 months after finding those screenshots, I landed a job offer at a major PR firm in New York. Full-time position, benefits, salary that made my student loans feel manageable. The interview that got me the job? I presented a campaign about authenticity in the age of social media influence, about people who build careers on borrowed identities, about what happens when the facade cracks. I never mentioned Chloe by name, but I submitted those screenshots as a case study in what not to do. The interviewers were fascinated. This kind of parasitic behavior is exactly what we're trying to combat in the industry, the creative director said. You've turned a personal violation into professional insight. That's the kind of resilience we need. I got the job. I didn't tell anyone at Northwestern about the New York job until my last week. When word finally got out, Chloe messaged me. Congrats on NY. So happy for you. Can I get a referral? The audacity was almost impressive. I responded, I don't think they're looking for anyone right now, but you could try reaching out directly. Use your own portfolio. She didn't respond. 3 months into my New York job, I ran into Nathan at a coffee shop in Lincoln Park. I was back in Chicago visiting my sister. Hey, you look different. Good, different. Thanks. I fucked up, he said. With Chloe, with everything, she wasn't who I thought she was. No, I agreed. She was exactly who she showed you. You just didn't want to see it. He asked if we could try again. I laughed. Actually laughed. Nathan, you did me a favor. You showed me who you were. Both of you did, and I'm grateful. I walked away before he could respond. It felt like closing a chapter I should have ended years ago. As for Chloe, last I heard, she dropped out of Northwestern. Too much academic pressure after I wasn't there to collaborate with anymore. She moved back to Ohio. Her Instagram, once carefully curated to match mine, now sits abandoned with posts from 2022. She tried to build a life on a foundation of lies. And when that foundation crumbled, she had nothing left to stand on. Here's what I want you to understand. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Not everyone who asks for help deserves your secrets. And not everyone who mirrors you is honoring you. Some people are just trying to steal what you've built. Chloe taught me that my life, my ideas, my identity, they're mine to protect. That boundaries aren't mean, they're necessary. That authenticity can't be copied, no matter how hard someone tries. She thought she could become me by taking everything I had. But she didn't understand that what made my life valuable wasn't the aesthetic or the boyfriend or the internship. It was the work, the resilience, the willingness to fail and rebuild, the authenticity she could never fake. You can't steal someone's life. You can only borrow it temporarily. And eventually, the real owner will take it back stronger, smarter, and completely untouchable. If someone in your life is making you feel erased, trust that feeling. Document everything. Protect your peace. And remember, people who need to steal your light don't have any of their own. I'm Emily. This is my journal, and if this story resonated with you, comment below and let me know where you're watching from. Subscribe for more stories about women who turned betrayal into power. Until next time, protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your life.